Hello Fanatics! With our review of Bumblebee coming out, we decided to rank the films in the Transformers franchise. We do know that this list will be entirely subjective, and our list won't be the same as yours, so let us know in the comments what your list is. And as with any of these lists, I'll try to be as spoiler-free as possible. Let's get started. Starting off the list at number 6 is Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. This is definitely the go-to movie when you talk about crappy Transformers films, as it is ripe full of every bad thing that you could possibly think of. Terrible CGI, terrible acting, terrible storytelling, in fact, terrible dialogue and overexploited sexual moments. The fact that there was a Transformer that has genitals just hanging out there and that characters have to comment on that proved how far this franchise had fallen. Coming in at number 5, we have Transformers: The Last Knight. This is the last one that Mark Wahlberg did, and for good reason, as he wanted to get as far away from this franchise as possible. Everything just didn't work in this film, from the absurd Anthony Hopkins character to the entire Merlin subplot, which was just laughable. There were parts that were palatable in this film, but it just didn't work, and everything just felt like a jumbled mess of 4 different ideas that they threw together because they really didn't have full ideas for all of them, and went, hey, we need a Transformers film to come out, so this is it. Coming in at number 4, we have Transformers: Age of Extinction. This one certainly isn't as bad as 5 and 6 on this list, but it's nowhere close to the top 3 either, as it still has a lot of issues in it, and I think that's attributed to Michael Bay using his Transformer tropes that he did in the second and third films. I found that the story was a little bit more interesting in this one, the subplots were fun, and the characters were alright, but the storytelling just again was a mess, and it was an overly long film. The CGI was still a little bit all over the place, and in the end it was just kinda eh. At number 3, we have Transformers: Dark of the Moon. This was the follow-up to the hit Transformers film, and it was a pretty good film in its own right. They followed the story of Sam Witwicky, and they continued with him and his relationship, which actually worked in this film. The characters were interesting, the parents were hilarious, they had the right amount of action, comedy. It was a great blend of all these different tones and styles. The CGI worked. I found that it was an entertaining film. It just fell flat on some parts. The key emotional moments and the third act could have been a little better. At number 2, we have the original Transformers. This film is the one that started this all, as because of its success, it spawned all of the other films, and Michael Bay was able to use his Michael Bay-isms with the explosions and action and make this a damn good action-adventure film. It was more family-centric in this film, where it catered to a more general audience, unlike the newer ones, but I found that it was the first time that we saw the robots in disguise, and seeing them transform in all their CGI glory was just an awe-striking moment. And I found that while that has kind of been lost in all the other films because of how many times we've seen it, the first film just did it so well. It introduced us to this entire world, and it was an entertaining story. But coming in at number 1 is the newest addition to the franchise, and that is Bumblebee. Because while Bumblebee doesn't have the same flash and charm and awe as the first one, it has the story. This story is the most layered story that we've seen in any Transformers film, as it's a coming-of-age story, an action-adventure story. It has the comedy, it has the action, it has the drama, it has everything that is needed to make it a general audience film. While there are some moments that I wasn't keen on, like some overuse of CGI and the kind of tightly wrapped third act, I found that it was some of the best action we've seen in any Transformers film. It was one of the strongest relationships we've seen in a Transformers film, and I loved the film's atmosphere. And I found that because this is where we're going with the first film not done by Michael Bay, I'm really excited to see where the Transformers franchise can go from there. And there you have it. There's our ranking of the films in the Transformers franchise. What did you think of our list? Agree? Disagree? Let us know in the comments. I'm Phillips, and thanks for watching. If you liked this video and you want to see more, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Check out our latest ranking video, where we rank the films in the DCEU. Don't forget to follow us on our social media. And until next time, Fanatics, keep it real.